Welcome to Selenium Training by Wisdom Trainings. Hello everyone. This video today is going to be the answer to all the frequently asked questions about what is framework, what is PyTest, what is Jenkins, Git. To all those questions, this video is going to give you the answer for. Fine. Now, I'm not going to exceptionally go one by one and talk about those. I'm just going to take a general example. Let's suppose there is a client that comes up to you and he asks you to automate some test cases, around 2000 test cases. Fine. Now for this test cases, one cannot write the script again and again with all the data being provided inside. So there are number of requirements, number of things that we should be able to achieve in this. Like for example, I should be able to generate a proper report. Fine, because if there are 2000 cases, 2000 test cases that I am testing, I should be able to get that what actually happened in every test case. In each and every test case, what happened, which place I needed a screenshot, where I wanted the required messages, all that I want a proper reports with some logs, messages, screenshots. Then only one person who is just aware, not totally aware about the test cases history, can get to know that what actually happened. If he also sees the report, that person will also get to know. Fine. Now this was about the end result. In 2000 test cases, I cannot write the test data in every test case. I cannot do like in test case 1 I have data 1, in test case 2 I have data 2. I cannot do that because if I have to change any of the data, I have to change it at every occurrence where it's being used. So that is not possible. So what I can do is I can keep the data whichever is being used, either be it a common one or it's a changing data according to the test case requirement. So I can keep the data in external files. That also I can do, right? Now which external files we can use, that's totally up to you. You can use CSV file, you can use XLS files, the Excel files. Then you can also pick up the data from the database, from properties file. Now these files which we are going to use to keep the external file, that depends on your project demand and which you want to use. That's totally up to you. But my code that I will be writing should be able to do this. It should be able to read the data from these files so that I don't have to pass data in my test cases and it can be collected from here. These two things are the must whenever we are creating a project for a large number of test cases. This is a must thing. Then comes up the client requirements. Now when it comes to client requirements, it can be random. There are some common requirements as well. There can be others as well. Like client comes up that he wants to manage the failed test cases. Out of 2000 test cases, it could be possibility that 20 test cases fails or 2 test cases fails. Fine. So I should be able to manage those test cases exceptionally. And if it comes as well that run only the failed test cases, then my code should be able to apt this change. Fine. The same way there is a requirement to implement grid in our code. Now grid is used for parallel execution. When we have to run the test cases parallelly, we use the grid system to save our time. The same we have another tools which are the Git and Jenkins. Now this we will come in some time that what these terms are, but these are the client requirements that in your project you should be having the changes already done, that in any case I have to run it anytime on Jenkins, I can just go and run it. I don't have to make the change on all the test cases. Fine. So these requirements are to be fulfilled at anyhow. And another place at the another end, I have my Selenium code. At this point, I have my Selenium code. Now what Selenium is actually doing? It's actually helping me to automate the browser. The Selenium code or the Selenium commands are actually not going to help me to generate the reports, to read the data from external files, and to fulfill the client requirements. Selenium is not going to do that. So I need a intermediate controller which will help me to do all these things. What that controller is? We call it PyTest. PyTest is a framework which helps you to write the test cases in a proper format, and it's also going to help you to perform these actions. Fine. So what PyTest will do? It will collect the test cases. It will read the data from external files. Go to the Selenium. It will interact with the Selenium part, and Selenium will act on its action. It will automate the browser and will complete my test cases. After that only, my PyTest will help me to generate the reports properly with all these. And the client requirements are going to be satisfied by this intermediate controller PyTest. Okay. So this whole structure that you can see, the coordination between the PyTest and the Selenium code with all these requirements, this whole is all together it's a framework. Fine. Now what PyTest is that you have seen. What's the role of PyTest? All these together is a framework, a project. An end-to-end project is called a framework. There are a number of frameworks available, which they are. Right now I'm not talking about that, but just a rough structure I have told you. There are many ways to attain this. There are a number of ways by which you can attain it. Which ways? That's a later point. But the rough structure is this. Fine. The same thing is this with the Git and Jenkins. Now Git and Jenkins is a different term, but that is applicable on the projects. What projects you have made, you can have them running on Jenkins. How? I'll tell you. I'm just going to clear this, and I'm going to take the example for the GitHub and Jenkins. Now for suppose in an organization, a task has been given, a client came and requested to test some 50 test cases. What happened in the organization that those test cases got divided into different testers to work on them. The testers started working on them, write their code on their local machines, and done. They have completed 50 test cases. But now at end they need to collaborate all the test cases that were divided into 3 of them at a single place. And they collaborate all the codes on a single place, and that place is called the source code management block. Now there are a number of source code management blocks available, but the famous one is Git. What these testers can do, let's say this is my A tester, this is my B tester, and this is my C tester. Fine. So A puts the code on Git, B also puts the code on Git, and C also puts the code on Git. On a proper repository, there is a block made for specific project, and all the 50 test cases are lying over here. Now someday A just went through the code and he finds some of the changes in the code. So what A does, he downloaded the code back on his local system. He kept the code with him. A downloaded the code, and out of the code he maybe added or deleted some Python files according to his sense that what improvement can be made. After checking it that the code is working fine with his changes, what he does is he puts the code back on the GitHub over here. Now unknowingly that someone else also downloaded the code at the same time when A was making the changes. So let's say B downloaded the code and he is also making the changes in the code, unaware of that the code has been modified by A. He is not aware about it and he made his changes. Same way, he also done some changes. He maybe added or deleted some Python files. And after checking that the code is working fine on his system, he also puts the code back on GitHub. Now, what will happen is, now A also don't know that the code has been changed by B. Now B is also not aware that the code has been changed by A. So over here what will happen is there will be an error coming up. It could be compilation error on the IDE that could happen. An error is going to happen and no one is aware about what actually has happened, who has made the changes, at what time the changes got made. None of them is aware about it. So for this purpose only, because this has created a deadlock, now to resolve this it will take around 2 to 3 days because the code needs to be revised again and then to be corrected. Fine. So just for this purpose, for handling the deadlock, we use the tool Jenkins. Now what Jenkins does? Jenkins is an continuous integrating tool, and what it looks is whenever there is some change on the Git account, it keeps on checking on the Git account. If there is any change by anyone, the Jenkins immediately runs or builds the code. In Jenkins term, running the code is building the code. So the Jenkins builds the code immediately. If there is some error, then a error mail is sent to all the recipients which have the code inside the Git account. If there is no error, then the build is successful and it's going on. And next time when the Git will have some changes, the Jenkins will run the code again. So this is how actually these two work in coordination, and how the framework, how our code is connected with this Git. What we can do is, somewhere around in my local machine, I have a whole framework been lying. So what I can do is, I can just push this code to Git account, and from this Git account only the Jenkins can run the code. If there is any change in the framework that I have made, or if I have shared the Git account with someone and that person made the change and something went wrong, this Git is going to help me to know that something has wrong in your code. You just need to check it. Fine. So this is what project is, what PyTest is, what Jenkins is used for, what is Git exactly. Okay, so I hope I have answered the questions that comes up in mind, that what actually these terms are. Okay, now the actual implementation takes time. For the Git implementation, for Grid implementation, Jenkins implementation, there are separate videos lying on the website over here. There are separate videos over here. Parallel execution with Grid and Jenkins and Git implementation. These topics are way too brief that they need proper understanding and implementation. So you can just watch these modules and you can understand it more, that how they actually are implemented. Okay, so from my end this video is all. Thank you.